I always talk about it as I go, I had a good day, I had a bad day. Moonshiners, you'll go blind from this. You don't go blind from it, but it just tastes like crap. You wish you were blind.
What's the stuff you used to drink, Sam? In college? The little raspberry, whatever?
Nada.
Yeah.
But with Brian, he'll sit here in that chair, and I'll catch him on a Saturday afternoon or morning, and he'll be outside. I'm like, you alright? I'm just shaking off the buzz. Dude, it's the end of the morning. Just from the vapors and from smelling it and even tasting it and making his cuts, he'll just sit there and he'll have notes of the temperature of when it's coming out and know what part he's cut and what part he isn't. We use 5-gallon barrels because that's the only way we can age whiskey quickly. It takes us about 7 months to age the whiskey because you get more liquid to surface. The problem is the barrels are very finicky. You gotta really babysit them, so we'll crack barrels every couple of weeks just to see how it's going, because sometimes it'll be done quicker, sometimes it won't be. And we'll have to taste and see. So a little bit of art, a little bit of science.
Oh, that's a birch?
That's the birch. So we have the birch in there, and then we can probably get 2 uses out of that barrel or from the woods. Right. And then we may start experimenting with aging the rum, because the way that rum just picks up flavors from everything else, if it gets any of the caramel or the chocolate from the whiskey or any of the birch spirits, it can be a really interesting age drop. It could suck, but we're going to try it and see. And we want to age the pineapple too, just to see how that goes. So that's the plans, and you'll see we've got a couple of 10s up here. It's not our homage to Bo Derek, it's 10 gallons. So we're going to slowly move from 5 to 10 gallon. It'll increase the weight, but it'll increase, our capacity, our production runs, because right now a 5-gallon barrel costs us just under $200. A 55 would only cost us $300, but a 55 would take us anywhere from 7 to 12 years. Yeah, and I don't think I'm going to last 12 more years if I keep drinking this way. Now, you will notice one cool thing in here. You've got some plumbing up on the top, not the fire part, but there and in behind the barrels. That's not really shoddy craftsmanship on our part, that's on purpose. The hot water will run through here, the cold will run through here. So we're trying to mimic the climate of Kentucky, where they have really hot days, very cool nights. So we're trying to raise the temperature, lower the temperature as much as we can. Not super dramatic, but as much as we can within this room to make this wood work. So it's going to expand, contrast, and that way it helps the aging process, it helps with the whole flavoring. So if you ever go out to Kentucky to the Big Bourbon, their rack houses are just real thin wood because they want to just take advantage of that climate where it's very hot in the day, very cool at night. So that's one of the reasons bourbon's so great out in Kentucky, because the weather's perfect, just like, the climate in Champagne in France works so great for those grapes. So that's what we try to mimic in here in the smallest way that we can in a basement in Kensington. And smell. And look how clear it is. That's probably about 145 proof.
Ooh, it smells good though.
It smells like birch. I've had it out of the still before, and I'm going, holy crap. like the birch we're going to be out. It's going to be, when we sell out of the birch, we're going to be looking at maybe 8 months before we get birch. And we just kind of got it out. We did about 145 bottles in the first run. So from the woods, this is our birch beer spirit. It is the secondary use of the barrel, and it is completely unique. We had to get our own classification from the state of Pennsylvania. So in the article, it was written up as a whiskey. It's not a whiskey. It's a birch spirit. Brian will make a mead, so a honey-based wildflower honey. Mead is, not a beer, not a wine. It's just mead. So we make a mead. Brian has a friend that's got a large piece of wooded property that's got Pennsylvania birch trees. So Brian will go out and he will take barks and twigs and branches and bag it. And the proper term is we steep it in the mead. I say we teabag it in the mead. And then we distill it. And you're in for a treat because we have it in that container waiting to be barreled, and it's white and it smells just like birch. So then we age it in the whiskey barrels, and that's about a 10-month process.
We're going to the Reading Terminal Market to get a cake.
And donuts.
And donuts.
And lobster mac and cheese.
And lobster mac and cheese. Alright, Joe, what is the Reading Terminal Market?
It is a concrete that has been turned into heaven. Food heaven.
Food heaven. Yeah, they got about everything you could ever want, including the best donuts in the world. We had some of the Beilers donuts from their annex in Westchester the other day. That was fantastic. So let's go to the main office right now at the Reading Terminal Market.
Lobster macaroni and cheese. Ow.
Yeah. Starting now? Too busy, no donuts, but we got our cake.